Hey guys, welcome to Tickzon mentorshipscheme. I'm Mr. Tickzon. I hope you've had a lovely day, and if you stick around, hopefully we're going to add some value into your life. This is the 99 days of value, where we try to turn our hindsight into your foresight. And I know it's been a little bit of a hiatus of posting some videos, but ultimately different priorities come into play. There's only so much that you can do, and you got to keep on going. But Mr. Tickzon, doesn't understand the concept of giving up, doesn't understand the concept of starting something you ain't gonna finish, and ultimately there really isn't an excuse to really give. There's honest things that made me change what I was able to do and produce at that point in time, and you just have to live with it. But that's essentially what we're going to talk about today with yourself, which is about excuses. Now, to be honest, for me, one thing that I don't like in this life is excuses. I don't really give myself the ability to have excuses, because ultimately I hold myself a very big account, and ultimately in this life, excuses always sound good to those who are giving it. In the previous video we spoke about overthinkers, procrastinators, and perfectionists being siblings in the same family of time wasting, and in the midst of that they always seem to find an excuse about why they couldn't do this, or why they couldn't do that, or why this couldn't happen, or that's not great, or this is not the right time, or this is not the right place to do it. I couldn't get this job because of this, I couldn't do this because of that, and there's always an excuse. And the thing about having an excuse is that it puts you in a situation where you become a victim of your circumstances, you become a victim of your environment, you become a victim of whatever is you hold accountable for as the reason why you can't start or change X, Y, and Z. And excuses is the one major thing that will hold you back in this life, and is one thing that will stop you from going over there. I'm not going to say hi this person because there's no point anyway, or it stops people from even trying. And if you want if you want to see somebody that has so much dreams but haven't really done anything about it, is somebody that has a lot of excuses for why they're not there. Now ultimately, to overcome excuses is to hold yourself accountable to what you're trying to do. And ultimately, as we spoken in a previous day of value, is that your word needs to mean something. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. Try to start things that you don't really plan on finishing until their end date. Because ultimately, if you can just start and drop and start and drop and start and drop, clearly they don't really mean something. Unless obviously you're in the phase of trying stuff out, discovering yourself. That's a completely different scenario. You've actually tried stuff. You've come to the logical end of how far you can take things. But that's not you making excuses. But excuses always sound better to those who are doing it. So for you, the best way to go about it is to remove the excuses in your life and try to take accountability for majority of the situations you're involved in. We spoke again previously in another day of value about control, and that you have your circle of control, your circle of influence, and your circle of concern. Now, even though they're not in your complete direct control, you always have an ability to change something. Okay, my boss doesn't like me. Have you spoken to your boss? Have you had a meeting with them? Have you changed your approach? Do they have valid criticisms? In my relationship, there's no communication. If there's no communication, it takes two people to communicate. Have you tried? Oh, he just doesn't listen to me. Have you tried to approach it in a different way? My parents don't listen to me. Have you tried to? Again, there's always, there's always legitimate. When the excuse comes, it always sounds legitimate. And the problem about excuses is that this is basically the summary of it. When you make excuses for why X, Y, Z won't happen, can't happen, and the excuses stop you from trying or even doing anything about it, then at that point in time, you've accepted your situation for what it is. And then in that regard, can you still be complaining? Because ultimately you have now become comfortable in your discomfort enough that the excuses of you not trying to change your discomfort outweighs you trying and trying and trying again. Ultimately, no one's going to say this life's going to be easy. No one actually owes you any this life being easy. There's actually nowhere that is written that your life should be easy. It would be nice if everyone's life would be easy. But then again, the easiest roads typically it's just a harder route. And vice versa. those who take the hardest route first typically get in the long term to an easier path. So removing excuses from your life and then taking what you can control is a simple thing. You know, we've spoken about forgiveness, we've spoken about acceptance. Keep on moving, because ultimately in this life, the ability for you to succeed also is kind of directly proportional or inversely proportional to your ability. It's directly proportional to your ability to reduce the amount of excuses you give yourself from actually putting on the effort. Okay, I said, you say you're going to jog every day. It's cold outside. Okay, that's a legitimate thing. It's cold outside. Then what? Whenever you do an excuse, then what? It's cold outside. Okay, wear a jumper. If you're not jogging long enough, you're not going to warm up. Okay, I can't eat healthy because it's expensive. I mean, it could be expensive, but do you make the time to go and find healthy food? Do you go to farmers markets? They're typically cheaper. Do you know how to cook? The places, there's nowhere to rent. They're all expensive. I mean, if you're out here looking for an ensuite, double bed, with like allocated parking, you might have to make compromises. And this is the thing with excuses. It sounds so comforting. I'm not going to go because X, Y, Z, I'm not going to do this. Whether it's to save, I can't save because I don't make enough money to save. That's just, it's just, most time excuses, they don't hold up to challenge. They don't hold up to debate. They don't hold up to, oh my days, I can't do this thing because X, Y, Z. No. And we've said this in a previous video, but ultimately, what's important to you will be shown about how you spend your time, energy, and money. And so your excuses sometimes come from a place of fear. Sometimes comes from a place you're overthinking, professional, all of those kind of things. But ultimately, you're going to have to push through it. And so whatever you allow to hold you back from achieving whatever you want to achieve will ultimately win. Because in our next video, we're going to talk about it. But ultimately, the day of value I'm trying to add today basically is reduce the amount of excuses in your life. If you find yourself making too many excuses, just listen to when you speak. You're the first one to hear it. Listen to when you speak and say, am I giving myself a get out through jail card? And if so, you might have to change tactic. You might have to get somebody to become an accountability partner. You might have to get somebody to help you out. You have to change up your scenario and change your situation, because for change to happen in your life, it always will start with you. So my name is Mr. Tickzon, or Ugo Chukwu Izeji, all of the above. I hope you've had a lovely day. And we're back. The 99 days of value. Yes, we didn't get it done from when we started to the end of the year. It was quite ambitious. I'm a very ambitious guy. But I did say I was going to do the 99 days of value. And I believe that they're going to add value into your life. So we're going to finish it, ultimately. And we're not going to stop until we get to day 99. And hopefully you are doing well. So don't forget to smile, because it just might make your day a little bit brighter. Or at least somebody else's. Hit the like, subscribe, share, comment, all of the above. And no excuses, we're back.